Hey, my name's Luke Zimmer, and I'm a Bremerton-based DP. Here I'm headed to the San Juan Islands. We're working on a project. I'm going to play a little bit of it for you before we get in the vlog.
Should have done it about 5 years ago. That's easy. That's very simple. This isn't like the kayaking I do. I kayak the Hudson River, which is okay, but this ain't the Hudson River, honey.
There's actually a huge archipelago just northwest of Seattle called the San Juan Islands. There's hundreds of islands and thousands of miles of coastline. You can be paddling for 20 straight days and not see the same island twice.
That was in all the brochures and so forth, and everyone said this is one of the top ones you have to see in the world. And I'm not going to go to the game that often, so I got to start at the top.
I have never been to the San Juan Islands. It was like top of my to-do list.
What the heck? Before heading to base camp, we went over and we checked out the Limekiln Lighthouse. Austin hadn't been here, so Calvin and I were really excited to share this spot with him. I really like this. I mean, this whole island is beautiful, but I love the Limekiln Lighthouse.
It's Tuesday morning here at camp, and 5:30. The site where all the guides are staying is pretty sweet. This bathroom is like for being at a campsite. There's a shower and all that. It's really nice. Calvin and Austin are still asleep. I'm trying not to wake them up. But this is where we did our interview yesterday. And it seems like it went pretty well.
For this interview, we were going to be out in the field, but mostly because of the wind, we decided to pivot, and this box truck was the next spot we had on our list. Even in the pre-visualization, this was our backup spot. So we hopped in there. I love the background with these beautiful old maps. We had to tweak for audio a little bit, threw up some of these moving blankets from Harbor Freight to act as sound blankets and shield us a little bit. But once we had it dialed in, well, I should also say, there was an airfield right next to us, which we knew ahead of time. So Calvin was our sound recordist for the day. He was keeping a log, and then he would just let us know to hold when there was a plane right overhead, and it was what it was. Besides that, I did really enjoy shooting in this spot. It's absolutely beautiful. Wasn't much room for tripods, so one of the cameras actually went on a desk, and the other tripod was clamped in and weighted down and strapped in a couple odd spots, but we made it work. I was crouched down next to the camera to get eyeline for the interview, and the problem with that is I was crouched on these stairs for like 40 minutes, something like that, and
Thinking, wow, should we wait? Yeah.
I totally lost it. I fell down the stairs. Yeah, it was not fantastic. And then I went ahead and did it again.
Whoa, dude. It's your left leg that's asleep. No, I thought it was your right.
Is walking like mandatory for the kayaking, or can we just
Actually, I might want to rephrase that because we've literally taken out people in wheelchairs before. So
today we don't have any more interviews to shoot, but I'm going to shoot a little bit of B-roll while the guides are teaching. There's a little safety class at the start after we pick up some of the customers, and then I have some more to shoot once we get on the water. So first thing, I'm going to take a little time to have quiet time this morning, but then I need to put up the production cart so I have a place to set up my underwater camera.
And actually, that's only half true. We did end up shooting some more interviews, but that was on the second or third night of the trip. We shot those with some of the ladies that were participating. So we ended up getting 3 testimonials done. And that's one of those things that we didn't agree to do ahead of time, but I had the equipment for it, and we had the relationship with them throughout the trip that it just felt like the right thing to do. And just something that I've learned to live by is to under-promise and over-deliver. So that's what we tried to do.
So, forgot the sandwiches, the lunches for the week. So I called up Ben, and he met us over at Turn Point. Got the goods. Now, we're gonna head back over to Turn Island.
After hanging out on Turn Point for a little bit, we made our way over to Jones.
Disaster averted.
Jones Island is so cool to me. It's on the west side, it's a fantastic camp spot. The water is gorgeous. It's loaded full of crab and other wildlife, so you're not going to go hungry. And you get the craziest view of the sunset each night. Definitely a spot that I'm going to come back to time and time again, I'm sure.
Well, I think you were going to grow it.
It took a little while to get set up, but after we were set up, we were ready to do a little bit of exploring. We got, I think the first thing that we did was hop in the water for, oh, that's right. We got these shots of the kayaks coming over the top of me. I don't know if you saw it in the video earlier. If you haven't, you can go to the website and check out the video.
Recorded myself doing that.
But we got those, and then afterwards we just hung out and crabbed for a while. Our goal was to get 10 crabs to feed the fam at the campsite. Such a gorgeous spot. Mostly I was seeing yellow hairy heart crab. That's a crab that I don't have down in the Hood Canal where I'm from. So it was really cool to see. They've got these crazy translucent legs on them. They are hairy and they are heart-shaped and they're yellow. So that might be where the name comes from. We also saw a bunch of little tiny dungees, nothing big enough to eat, and mostly females. So the thing with crab is if it's female, you let it go. Whether it's got eggs or not, you don't keep them because they're the breeders. And then if they're male, they have to be a certain size, and you can only keep so many of them. So we were looking for red rock crabs, not so much the dungees.
Yeah, they're crazy. They have like gold, like it looks like their legs are glowing.
We ended up catching 10 red rock crab, and I grabbed 1 yellow hairy heart crab, just because I've got a buddy who seems to really enjoy it, and I've never found one. So they were all over the place. Found one big enough size. I decided I'll see what it tastes like. Not my favorite crab. A little bit bitter for my taste. I really like the red rock crab. A lot of people don't like them because they have less meat and they're harder to break open than the dungees, but I think they're way sweeter. Beautiful night out in the San Juans. The next morning, we got up and made our way over to Spiden Island. This is over on, this is on the east side of the island. Last time we came up the west, so we got to see a different aspect of it. And Spiden is a private island. It's privately owned, protected. You cannot walk around on it, except below the high tide line. So we stopped there for breakfast and hung out on Spiden. After Spiden, we made our way up to Gossip Island, which is just between Spiden and Stewart. Stewart was our final destination, but while we were on Gossip, we had lunch and got ready for a quick dive. Well, when I say quick, it actually turned out to be much longer than expected. I think my dad, Austin, and I were underwater for an hour and a half, maybe even longer than that. We were just having such a good time. Right around Gossip, I'm about to put you onto a cool dive spot. There's tons of rockfish, copper rockfish mostly, some black rockfish. There's lots of giant California red sea cucumbers. There's a ton of purple sea urchin, which are not an invasive species, but they are a dangerous species. They kind of outcompete everything. For example, the lingcod population has been suffering, and it's because lingcod, they're not always protecting their nests after they lay their eggs, and these sea urchins come up and they eat up all the eggs. Long rant about sea urchins, but another reason why this dive was really fun, it was really cool, was getting to spend that time with my dad. He is someone who has never gotten into free diving. He did a little bit of scuba while he was in college, but I really got to introduce him to it the same way that my brother-in-law introduced me into free diving, except, my first dive was in the Hood Canal, couldn't see anything, and I got pretty spooked. My dad's first dive was, diving on a cool old sailboat, and his second dive was up here in the San Juans, and so I feel like he's got a little bit better start than I did, but he seems to be enjoying it, and hopefully we'll continue to do this for a long time. I really enjoy getting to spend this time with my dad underwater. Here's my dad cooking up the sea cucumber, the sea urchin, and some of the other bits and bobs that we found while we were out. The next day we made our way into Roche Harbor, and that's kind of the tail end of our trip. We came from Roche around the west side of the island, and I think it was San Juan Island County Park. So, back over there by Lime Kiln again. It was a fantastic trip as always. The SeaQuest guys are fantastic. Definitely recommend going on a tour with these guys.